Hi, and welcome back to my channel. Every single week it seems like the stock market and Bitcoin in particular are more volatile than the last. So I have a ton of movement, as we can see on the day, down about $880, which is not great. At the same time, those fluctuations come in good news and the form of bad news. So on the week, when we move over, we can see I'm down almost $2,000. A lot of that coming today. Not a huge deal, but definitely not what you want to see. Over the past month now, up $6,000, which is almost incomprehensible. It's hard to believe. 3 months now, up $8,900. In the past year, up 97.97%. And all-time now up 100.89%, or $11,551. If we move back here, we can see my portfolio investment is now $11,450. I deposited another $150 last week, and I made a couple of moves there. First was 2 more shares of AT&T, or T, at $28.94 a piece for a total of $57.87. Second was 1 more share of SPHD, which of course is my S&P 500 ETF. Price there was $38.41. I'm now up to 37 shares. Next, I purchased $10 in Ethereum. That's 0.008669. My new position there is just under 5% of an Ether, and the price there was $1,153.50. Last but certainly not least, I purchased $50 more in Bitcoin. Quantity there was 0.00127. My new position is 0.315 Bitcoin, and the average, the price on that last purchase was $39,167.91. Real quick, I was not planning on adding this to the video, but I am significantly behind, and I wanted to sneak this in while I have time and while it's relevant. Dave Portnoy, the flamboyant founder of Barstool Sports, announced just a few weeks ago that he is now involved with this new ETF from Van Eck, the Van Eck Vector Social Sentiment ETF. The reason that this is significantly different than other ETFs is that they're using algorithms to figure out what people are saying on social media. Now, tools like Google Analytics, YouTube Analytics, Twitter Analytics allow people to understand what consumers are saying about a certain brand. Obviously, this would have been wonderful to know just a few months ago before the GameStop bubble blew up. But right now it's trading at about $24.16. We can see on the week it has had very little movement. Over the past month, it hasn't even been trading for a month, but we can see it's pretty flat. So it opened up here at $23.98. Right now it's trading at $24.16. The reason I'm so interested in this is that it's a significantly different approach than any other ETF that I'm aware of. So here, if we look at the description, we can see it says Buzz holds 75 US listed firms with the most positive investor sentiment online. The fund uses a proprietary AI model to select and weight stocks. So the goal is to figure out, what do people think about these companies, because especially the panic and the social media craziness is forcing people to buy and sell based on emotion, which is typically not ideal for stock trading. I just want to know what you guys think about Buzz. Is this a buy? Is this something to stay away from? Let me know what you think down in the comments, and now we'll get back to the stocks in my portfolio. As always, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and comment down below what you'd like to see next. First stock for today is Sunrun. This one's been all over the place, but if you've watched this channel before, you know that I purchased these shares as Vivint Solar, and they've really gone nuclear since then. Total return bar is broken, so it's showing plus 2,300. My actual cost when it was Vivint Solar shares is about $670, so an awesome return here. Total market value is about 2,300. Over the past week, down about 6%, and it did peak here at just over $100 per share. Over the past month, up 41%, 3 months up 40%, 465% on the year, and 5 years up 789%. I keep saying that I'm looking to sell this soon, and I think this is going to be the week. If I had to guess, next week this will no longer be in my portfolio. I've had an awesome return here, and I just don't see it going a whole lot higher here in the near future. Next up is another huge player in my portfolio, Penn National Gaming. You can see my total returns now up over $700, or 186%. This one's really crazy because it just continues to go up. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but it continues to go up. Penn National Gaming, of course, owns Barstool Sports. Dave Portnoy has been in the news more recently with the Barstool Fund for small businesses. It's definitely good in terms of driving traffic to their website and everything that they do. But Penn National Gaming, of course, is a gambling conglomerate, so they do a lot of horse racing. They have a sports betting app, and they own Barstool Sports. The important thing here is their earnings. We can see their earnings were terrible in Q2 of 2020. That's to be expected because casinos were closed, there was no sports, there was not a whole lot going on. Q3, they had a huge recovery there, great in terms of earnings, and I'm looking forward to their Q4 earnings call on February 4th. It'll be very interesting to see what their earnings look like. So over the past week, we can see up 12%, over the past month up 20%, 3 months up 52%, year up 277%, and 5 years up 553%. Because this has gotten so inflated, I'm not sure if it makes sense to buy any more shares, but certainly I'm looking forward to holding these at the very least. Next up, we have O, or Realty Income, which is a REIT in my portfolio. This one pays a monthly dividend. I really like it. So we're up to 16 shares here, makes up about 4% of the portfolio. It is showing down $10. But the monthly dividend here is about $3.50 per month, which means that obviously I do have a positive return here. I'm not down on this at all. So over the past week, we can see down about 2.5%. Past month, down 6%. 3 months, down 4%. Over the past year, down 23%. And 5 years, only up 13%. Real estate was hit extremely hard because of the pandemic. That's no surprise. So I think this is a stock that I really just need to hold on to. And I'm going to continue purchasing shares here. I really like the monthly dividend. And I'm hoping that the real estate market will turn around once the pandemic is over. Next up, we have AT&T, which is definitely an interesting one in my portfolio. The big news a couple weeks ago here is that AT&T decided not to raise their dividend coming into this year. It's going to stay constant at 52 cents a share, paid 4 times a year. That is still an over 7% yield on that dividend, but most investors were looking forward to an increased dividend yet again because they're capable of paying it, and that's sort of been a hallmark of this stock in the past. So that definitely hurts their outlook moving forward. Over the past week, you can see it's up 1.5%. Over the past month, down 4%. 3 months, up about 7%. Over the past year, down 23%, and 5 years now, down 13.5%. This one I'm a little bit confused with what to do because that dividend is still very strong at about 7%. But like I said, a lot of the positive outlook here was in AT&T's ability to continue raising their dividend every year. Let me know what you think about AT&T as a whole in the comments. Last stock for today is going to be JNK, which is my Barclays High Yield Bond ETF. Again, this one pays a monthly dividend. Interesting enough, it does not pay in January, but the other 11 months of the year, it does pay a dividend. A dividend yield here is about 5%. And of course, the goal with a bond ETF is that it's going to be much more consistent than any sort of stock. I'm not going to get a great return out of this, but hopefully it will be much more consistent, less movement than any of the stocks in my portfolio. So total return is up about 9%, which is great to see. I'm looking at purchasing another share here in the coming weeks. Over the past week, up 0.24, past month up 0.5%, 4% on the 3-month scale, down 1% on the year, and 5 years only up about 8%. So we can see, like I was saying, not very much movement here at all. If we wipe away what happened here in March when it dipped all the way down to $86, it's been extremely consistent over the past 5 years. And even I've looked at further than that 5-year range, it has been very consistent. And the dividend yield here, 5.12%. I'm very happy with this one. As I said, looking to purchase one more share. Last of all, we're going to talk about Bitcoin today. Bitcoin is all over the place, just as it has been for the past couple months. So total return here is still up 210%, or about $7,700. My average cost is down still at $11,700, which is awesome. My total quantity here is 0.315 Bitcoin. It makes up just about half of my portfolio at this point. My equity is now over $11,000 of Bitcoin, which is awesome. If we move to the week, we can see it's still down about 12%. Peaked here at $41,000, and it's just been all over the place since then. Over the past month, up 87%, 3 months up 220%, over the past year up 311%, and 5 years up over 8,000%. Say it once, I'll say it again. I'm going to continue purchasing Bitcoin until the end of December of this year, when I'm planning to sell. My estimates from everything that I've read, anywhere from 120,000 to 400,000. I'm hearing that the most likely now is about $300,000 for a single Bitcoin. Obviously, I have no way to verify those numbers ahead of time, but That's what I believe, and that would be humongous for me personally. Let me know what you think about Bitcoin and the rest of the video. Thank you for watching, and I'll be back again next week. Bye.